guys, this is it. We're about an hour and a half late. It's 6:30 in the morning on Saturday morning. We're starting the ride to Cape Coral, Florida. It should be about 24 hours, hopefully less. As you can see, everything's empty. My friend Cole and I, he's standing behind me, behind the camera there, are gonna get in this truck. It's still dark out, and hopefully we're gonna get there with very little drama, but you never know what could happen. So guys, stay tuned. We're gonna keep you updated all day long. All right, we're on the road. A bumpy little truck right here. We're just on the Cross Bronx Expressway, my least favorite road. Here with my friend Cole. Cole's driving now, first leg, and we have like 1,200 miles to go. In New York, in the Bronx. It's one of the only towns that has the word "the" before it. Imagine that, the. Think about the place you live and put the word "the" behind it. All right, I'm moving to Cape Coral. Imagine the Cape Coral. Only the Bronx can handle the word "the" before it. And like I said, sorry about the shaky video, but this is the truck we're in. It's got these air seats that kind of bump up and down. And the Cross Bronx Expressway is very bumpy. If anyone who's just driven it knows. It's amazing. I don't want to jinx us that we don't have more traffic on here. We got a late start. We were supposed to be on the road at 5. We got on the road at 7. So, what time is it now, Cole? Cole doesn't know. 7:34. 7:34. All right. Half hour into the trip. And we're on this very narrow, scary Cross Bronx Expressway. A lot of trucks. We got to drive. In New York, you have to drive on the commercial roads. You cannot drive on parkways. You can only drive on the expressway. So, there we go. We're going to be going over the GW soon. I'll update you then. All right, guys. We just got into New Jersey. I missed the sign. Cole and I were rapping. And missed the sign going into Jersey. So, we entered our first new state of many that we're going to experience. We're getting on I-95 pretty soon. We're on I-80 right now, which goes across the state of Jersey. And then we're going to hit the I-95, and then that will stay on that pretty much almost all the way until we get down to Florida. So we're on our way here. So far, so good. I like the fact that we haven't hit any traffic. That's encouraging.
Don't jinx it.
But we don't want to jinx it, so we're not going to say anything. Right now, the concern is we have the snakes in the back, and it's still very cold here in New York, New Jersey area. It's like in the 40s, and that's not good. That will kill the snakes. Now, I warmed up the truck. I had it in my very warm warehouse. I had the heat blasting all night. So the truck inside was very warm. How long it will stay warm, we don't know. For those of you who are concerned about my turtles, I got the albino turtles right in there, in the cab with us. They're nice and warm and toasty. So the turtles are fine. The snakes we're not so sure about. Hopefully as we head south, it'll start warming up, especially when we get to Washington D.C. Stay tuned. All right. We're going up the Delaware Memorial Bridge, connecting Pennsylvania with Delaware. This is a scary bridge. It goes way, way, way up, and we're making progress. We made so much progress. Cole and I have been talking so much that, and he's still driving, that I forgot to tell you guys we were in Pennsylvania. we shot through Pennsylvania so fast. I guess we're technically still in Pennsylvania. As you can see, the Delaware Memorial Gap, the Delaware Memorial River. Pretty cool. Looking nice out. I think it's getting a little warmer out. Hopefully the snakes are doing well. We're going over the bridge. Making good time. We haven't hit any real traffic snags yet, which is good. And it's a nice, beautiful, sunny October 29th. Is it 29th today? 30th. 29th. We should have dressed as Halloween. We should have dressed up for Halloween, Cole, while we were driving. But then we could have got pulled over. So, all right, guys, over the bridge. We're into Delaware. Maybe Fred Big or Small. All right, we're in Maryland, and we're approaching Kevin Lebroni's house. As you can see on the sign up ahead, Annapolis, Glen Burnie. It's very rocky, I know. I'm sorry about that. There it is, Glen Burnie. All right, that means we are approaching probably Washington D.C. will be up our next on the road trip. And maybe I'll give you an update on my last 2 days of hell I went through. We're somewhere outside of Washington D.C. and we are in our first traffic jam of the trip. I think we're about 200 miles into the trip now, pretty close to it. And this sucks. Traffic definitely is not fun when you're on a very, very long trip because it extends the trip quite a bit. Hopefully it won't be too long. I wonder if there's a lot of election, because the election day is coming up, the presidential election. I wonder if a lot of people in Washington, going to Washington, whatever, I wonder if that's affecting anything. Could possibly be. What do you think, Cole?
No idea. All I'm hoping is that car just hopped around.
Cole and I have not stopped yet, not once. We haven't done one rest stop yet.
So, food.
We may have to get some food and some bathroom break here. I had a miserable day. Maybe I'll talk about my miserable day that I had yesterday and the day before that. I'll tell you my story about the movers. You know, the movers came about 2 weeks ago and gave me an estimate on all my stuff they had to move in my house and in my warehouse. And at the end of the estimate, I had already had another moving company that was going to move us. They said to me, the guy said to me point blank, "This is the price." I said, "Well, what if you got to turn that fan down a little, Cole." So what if you have to weigh the stuff? Because usually they weigh these trucks and then they base your price on the weight. Nope. This is your price. Doesn't matter what it weighs. Okay. I showed you all my stuff. And what happens? Of course, they pick up all our shit and they realize, wow, this stuff weighs a lot. Now he says to me, "Oh, I'm going to have to charge you $6,000 more." Not $600, not $60, $6,000 more. Now, mind you, I won't go into it now, but the guys who were moving my vehicles, my 3 vehicles, and the guy who was the lawyer for my buyer of my house were also torturing me at this point. But I'm not going to go into that. So I was thoroughly pissed off already. And I said to the guy, "You told me in my office, when I asked you, does this have to be weighed? No, this is the price." He's like, "I absolutely did not say that." I said, "Don't fucking lie to me," I said, because first of all, my wife was sitting there and Corrine in my office was sitting there. We can validate that you said that. Now, if you made a mistake and underestimated, I don't want you to have to eat the load, but the bottom line is that, you know, $6,000 more than the initial price, quote, of $11,000 is almost 50% more. He's like, "Well, you got 50% more weight than I estimated." I said, "Well, then you underestimated and you made a mistake. And guess what? Your workers who work for you tell me that you do that all the time." He's like, "They would never say that." I said, "Well, they did." I said, "Well, they did." I said, and when all was said and done, we compromised, and I still paid more, but it wasn't $6,000 more. So that was one aggravating thing that happened to me yesterday. The moral of the story is that movers are liars. They lie so that they can basically get your business, and then they worry about it later, because once they have all your furniture on their truck, you have no choice but to pay them. The only reason he dropped his price for me is because I went nuts. And I was going nuts all weekend. I'm still going. Actually, this was the most peaceful day I had. So Cole's keeping me very peaceful here on this road trip 2016, Florida bound. Hope you're enjoying it. Hey, there's another Penske truck, Cole. Not as big as ours. We have the big one. We have the 26-foot, which was more than big enough for our trip. Hopefully the snakes are doing well. It's starting to warm up a little bit, so maybe at the rest stop we'll check out the snakes, see how they're doing. All right, guys, when we stop at the rest stop, Cole will interview me or put the camera on me, and I'll give you guys a quick update. Thanks. We are crossing the Potomac River, and we can see D.C. in the distance there. You see the Washington Monument. You should be able to make out the Capitol building pretty soon. And it's a great view of Washington, D.C., our country's capital. See all the nice sailboats out there. It's a nice warm day out. Temperatures are rising over 60 degrees now. We just officially entered into Virginia now from Maryland. I see Mount Vernon on the ahead if you see the sign as we're crossing into Alexandria, which is where Don Long is originally from. So, Alexandria, Virginia. Home of Don Long. We always have to. Washington, South. Don Long's more relevant to bodybuilding, so we got to talk about him. So. Don, who now lives in Florida, like I do. So. Isn't that great? It's crazy for me to say that. I'm a Floridian now. I never thought I'd ever say that, but I am. All right. I just saw a sign that said radar detectors are illegal. That's funny. You can have a cell phone that probably pretty much does everything a radar detector does, because these apps now tell you where the cops are. They tell you how fast you're going. So I'm pretty sure that cell phones will pretty soon be radar detectors too, if they're not already. So much for that sign, right? Everything's illegal in Washington D.C, but yet they have the most crime of any state in the entire nation. All right, that's my rant. Hey everyone, we're at our first stop of the trip. We're in Virginia somewhere. It's 12:46, so we've been going for about 5.5 hours. We're at McDonald's. I know I haven't been there in a long time. You guys thought I deserted McDonald's, but if I'm gonna go to McDonald's, I'm not getting a chicken sandwich, I'm not getting a salad. I'm going with the quarter pounder. I got 2 fries. Cole donated his fries to the cause. Guys, if you're on the road, you gotta eat fast food, you gotta get in it and out, and get back on the road, we gotta make good time. So hopefully you're enjoying the trip. I know we haven't really made many stops. It's very loud in McDonald's here. But I'm telling you, this is just the beginning of the trip. It's warmed up outside, so I think the snake's gonna be okay. Stay tuned for more updates. All right, I'm here with Cole Hanzich, my co-driver here, and we're fueling up with something called DEF, Diesel Exhaust Fuel. When I rented this beautiful Penske truck, no one told me that there was something called DEF. I just knew there was diesel fuel. We fueled up before a couple times already, and all of a sudden, Cole, we're on the highway, and what happens?
Truck almost turns off, no power.
Alarms are going off while I'm driving, and it says immediately get to a station. And what happens by sheer luck?
My first hour of sleep as well.
Yeah.
Dave by chance pulls into the only place that sells DEF fuel. As the truck
diesel exhaust fluid.
Truck goes on no power.
It was a miracle of miracles. We were being watched by guardian angels because the truck was no longer running. It was rolling basically. We found out via Google that every 800 miles you need to put this DEF fuel in here. No one told me this when I rented the Penske truck. If you rent a Penske truck to drive to Florida, why wouldn't they tell you to put DEF fuel in there? Which, by the way, is not available in many places. We got lucky that we wound up in the middle of North Carolina at this truck stop, and we got what we needed. Now, if you guys want to take a look at what we have loaded in the cargo bay here, you'll see my snake racks, you'll see some stuff that we have to bring, computer servers, a couple suitcases. We're doing pretty good. We got our DEF, and we're going to be back on the road, and I've been driving pretty good lately. I'm on a roll now. Cole's doing his resting. So guys, stay tuned. More aggravation here from Penske Trucks on rxmuscle.com. All right, so I'm at this rest stop in the middle of North Carolina. Enos Higgins probably lives around the corner from here or something like that, but who knows? And there's gnats here. It's pretty warm, which is good. Good for the snakes. And it's like this is like a scene from a movie. It's like a diner with they're making like, you know, mashed potatoes and like beef stew over there in the distance. Actually, the distance over there. And there's no one around. The chances of me coming upon this particular truck stop, which I needed to fuel up my truck, were 1 in 1,000. So someone's watching over us. We're here in North Carolina once again. We've got about, I don't know, still got a lot to go. We got to go through a lot of states. We got South Carolina, we got Georgia, then we got all Florida to drive through. It's starting to get, you know, 6 o'clock p.m. We're probably looking at a 5 a.m. arrival if we don't get stuck or if we don't have any more delays. So we're gonna get back in the truck, keep driving. Everything's looking good. Thanks for joining us. All right, guys, we are somewhere in South Carolina, and we are at Waffle House. I know I told you, I warned you guys that I'm gonna go to Waffle House, and I had to wait till it gets dark. For some reason, Waffle House in the dark is always really good. Cole and I are hungry. We've been traveling, I've been driving a long time at this point. We're making some good progress. Once again, we're deep into South Carolina. Next comes Georgia, and then we're in Florida. Obviously, Florida's a long, long trip, so we still got a long way to go. We're making good progress, so I'm gonna go in there. You know what I like? Grits. The grits. They got the best grits at Waffle House. I'm gonna get a nice little couple eggs, grits, some toast, and we're gonna be good. Let's go inside. I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna get here. I was so famished that I ate the whole meal already. My grits are gone. My egg omelet, my 2 eggs with mushroom and tomato are gone. I have my soggy toast left, and there's a little bit of my egg omelet. Let me show you. There it is. You see my mushrooms in there? You got to get mushrooms in here. Look, they have great mushrooms in Waffle House. There it is. And I don't do the jelly. I put a Splendor in my grits. Some people just like the butter and the salt. I do the butter, salt, and the Splendor. It tastes delicious. I'm telling you, try it. We got a coffee to go. Cole's eating bacon, some hash browns and some eggs as well. We're refueled. We're gonna get back on the road. On the road again. I gotta get on the road again. No, 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 no. It's getting late now. It's dark. What is it, 8:30, Cole?
56.
8:56, almost 9 o'clock. This is my best hours now. Getting my second win. Here we go. Road trip, Florida bound. All right, guys, we made it to Savannah, Georgia. We're that much closer to Florida right now. And to authenticate where we are, you gotta look. You can only see this in Savannah, Georgia. Boiled peanuts. Green boiled peanuts. Now look at this. If you come over here and take a look. Look at that. They're boiled in water. It's really boiled peanuts. Jimmy Carter would be proud. And if that's the original, then you got Cajun with spices, which is probably really good. I'm not prepared to eat these though, because I don't want to stink Cole out of the car in case it bothers my stomach. But we've still got about 6 hours of driving left. We should be hitting Florida, hopefully next stop in Jacksonville, Dexter Jackson. Whether he's there or not, I don't know. Maybe we'll stop by his house to say hello to him. I don't know if he'll let us in. Blade isn't so happy with us lately, but you are the winningest bodybuilder of all time, and that's an accolade that we might have to at least wave to you. We passed the Jacksonville sign. I got another. I've been drinking a lot of coconut water to hydrate. I noticed Cole got one this time too. Got to keep those electrolytes going. Got a little caffeine in me. I think we're getting our second win now. Stay tuned. Next stop, Florida. All right, it's about, what is it, about 4 in the morning now, and we are in Florida. We're about 219 miles out. They're right. When you hit Florida, you think you're close. I got to Jacksonville. I'm like, we're not too far now. It's like it's the longest part of the trip. It just never ends, and we're on back roads with like lights, going off because we have to cross from the East Coast to the West Coast. Since Cape Coral's on the West Coast, it's a long trip. We're tired. We haven't been sleeping much. We haven't slept anything. I think Cole slept a couple hours. I maybe got an hour's sleep in the truck. We've been up since 2 o'clock in the morning yesterday, and this is the toughest part of the trip. Luckily, it's not warm, but it's not cold. So I hope the snakes are good in the back. I haven't looked. I'm afraid to even look back there, to be honest with you. Amanda's at home. She keeps texting us when are we going to be there so she can be ready, because we have to unload the truck before we can actually get to go to sleep. It's been a crazy trip. I hope you guys have enjoyed all the little updates. It's once again, you don't even know what to say after a while. We've eaten the worst junk from Cole. I've never seen anyone eat worse. From McFlurry's, I actually ate McDonald's. We had Waffle House. We've been eating pretzels in the thing. I must have had 4 coconut waters though. I will tell you that. I've been so dehydrated, I don't know why, and I feel great. So once again, if you get dehydrated, coconut water is the trick. And the great thing about Florida is they got these great little convenience places. The gas station, they're open 24 hours. You can get pretty much any kind of food you want in there. I might even go in there and get breakfast. But guys, stay tuned. We have one more update as we approach the house. They say everything goes full circle. We're back in McDonald's in Tampa. We're 2 hours outside of Cape Coral now. All I know is that the McDonald's in Florida look a hell of a lot better than the McDonald's in any other state we've stopped at. Pretty damn good. It's breakfast time. Bacon, egg, and cheese, except I don't eat the bacon, so I get egg and cheese. Cole's got a bacon, egg, and cheese, I bet, in here. And we're gonna get back in the truck. We got Cole and I kind of switching a lot more frequently now because we're getting tired, but we're gonna make it. I'm dreading when we get there, we still have to unload the truck, but there's more to talk about. We will be in Cape Coral within 2 hours, and that will be our next update. Stay tuned. All right, as you can see, we arrived here in Cape Coral, and when we opened up the thing, we have guys that escaped. All the snakes seem to be alive, but they seem to be doing their own thing up here. And now I got to capture them all. They're probably at least 25% of them have gotten out. So by process of elimination, I have to get them all back in. As you can see, they're all doing their own thing over there. It's like playtime. It's like, you know, letting the parrots out in the parrot house. Except these are the snakes in the snake house. So you talk about snakes on a plane, I talk about snakes in the back of a truck. And that's what we're dealing with right now. We'll come back in a few minutes. So it's been about 2.5 weeks. I'm here with my son Logan, and I'm back home and we're settling in. And as you can see behind us, the snake cages are all set up and the tubs. We had a little bit of a problem. As you could see in the last little frame, we were losing snakes. How were we losing snakes? They were crawling all over the inside of the truck. When all was said and done and inventory was done, guess what happened? You heard before. We were missing one snake. And we're not sure where it is. Still haven't found it. My theory is that one of my snakes, which was an albino olive python, which you saw climbing on the top of the truck, the big one, they can be snake eaters, and I have a feeling he got a little snack along the way. It was a very expensive snack, by the way. I'm not too happy about it, but it was our only loss, so I can't really complain. The trip was great. I want to thank my really good friend, Cole Hanzich, for coming down with me. It was a brutally long 27 or 30 hours total. Logan no longer wants to cooperate. He wants to play Superman, and I don't think I'd ever want to do it again, but it was an experience to say the least. Hope you guys enjoyed my misfortune and my fun that I had on the drive down here. We are now in Cape Coral. You'll be seeing a lot of footage from Florida now, although we are making a couple trips back to New York. Obviously, I got to go visit my dad, and we're going to be doing a Bros vs. Pros up there. But when all is said and done, we made it safely. We're here. The facility is not complete, as you can see, because we're still in my garage. But once it is, you'll get a full tour. I promise you that. And once again, Roadtrip 2016 was a success. Dave Palumbo signing off for RxMuscle.com.